Hi, this is Vicki from Grammy B's Junk Journal. Thanks for stopping by my channel. Today I'm going to create a couple of collage pages that will go into a junk journal. And I am just using images from a couple of my wildlife books. So these are the two books that I'm pulling pages from. And I've just literally pulled out some pages, torn some trees and shrubs, torn some of those out that I can use for layering backgrounds, and I've torn some different bird pictures, and then the same from this book. Now the background page is from a 1955 hymnal. So I've just taken the page, I have folded it in half, and then I've just inked up the edges. We're gonna make two of these. And so my background, I'm gonna start with some paper, some of the brown craft paper that I get from packages that come in the mail. And we're just going to, I'm going to first layer them up and kind of audition the collage to see how I like it. And then once I find how I like it, then I will start gluing. So I'm going to be pulling some of my bird images. And as I said, I pulled those images from the books that I just shown. And you may have seen one of my videos that I shared an organizing tip. So in the evening, or if I'm just watching a movie or watching TV, I'll get one of those books out and I will tear or cut out images, and then I will put them in this plastic sleeve. And I have a bunch of different sleeves with labels so that as I'm pulling out the images from the magazines or the books, I know where to put them. They all have a home, and then there's holes here so it goes into a 3-ring binder. And then when I'm ready to do collage or different projects for my junk journals, I just pull out the envelope that I want and I have those images ready to go. So that is a tip that I like to share because it has worked very well for me. Okay, so I have the craft paper for the background, and I'm gonna go ahead and choose some of the greenery from some of the pages. And I'm not gonna like overthink this, but I know that I want some, some trees, some shrubs, some leaves, maybe some different colors. This one has a little bit of pink or reddish in there. So I'm gonna take that. I'm also going to, I have a stack of vintage stamps, and I do want to use some vintage stamps. And I'm only going to choose about maybe 5, possibly 6 different items to put in this collage. I think I'm going to go, maybe we'll try that green for now. And then for my bird images, I think I want a big one here. I just grabbed a handful, so let's see. I like this one. I think I'm going to stick with that one. Let's see what else. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to choose some lace. Now I've got a tray over here on the side that I've just put snippets of different things that I like to use in the collage. Now this is some vintage lace that I pulled. I love the yellow, so I am going to probably use that there. And then these are, I just snipped some off, it is kind of like lace, or it's trim, and I had a bunch of it, so I just snipped some little pieces off. And this is, I got from thrift stores. I get a lot of my trims from thrift stores, but I like to have a little bit of bling. So I'm gonna just put that there to see if I like that. And I'd like to pick up some of that, the reddish color in the background, or pink. I'm not really for sure what color that is, to be honest with you. But I did pull out some gold. I don't know, I think I'm gonna go with that just because I wanna pull out some of that color in the background. So let's see, what else do I have here? Oh, I cut out some eggs in one of those bird books. I thought that would be kind of cool just to, you know, maybe put a couple of eggs, or one egg peeking out maybe. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see if I like that. I do have some buttons, I do have some stamps. So I'm thinking this is kind of what I'm gonna start with, and then we'll just go from there. So I'm gonna do both of them kind of at the same time. And I'm just gonna take my layers off, and then I'm just gonna start gluing, and we'll see how it goes. So I am using the PVA glue. I kind of go between PVA and art glitter. They're both liquid glues that they're my favorite. Now when I put the lace down, I will use my Fabri-Tac just because I really love the Fabri-Tac. And I use that for any kind of ribbon or fabric. And this dries very fast. Now I want to make sure that I want my title to show, I want the copyright, just because I want to show that, you know, how old this is. Now for this liquid glue, it dries really fast, so you're going to see me pull that lid off and on, and because if I don't, it's going to dry really fast. Now I just like to tear the edges of the magazine, or the, you know, whatever you're using, magazine or book pages. I like to just tear it, and then I'm just going to ink up the edge just a little bit. That will help give it a pop away from that background. It'll kind of make it pop out a little bit. So, and again, I'm not going to overthink this because it usually always works out if I just kind of not overthink it and just kind of lay it there. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and get that bird glued down, but we're going to ink him up first. Just a little bit of ink on the outside. And I think before I do that, I have a paper doily, and I do like to use those in the background just to, you know, give it a little bit more texture. And I don't want it to be white, so I am going to go ahead and ink that up a little bit, and then I'm going to make it pop out underneath that bird. Just going to put some glue there, and I'll go ahead and glue my bird down. Trying to do it fast so that that glue doesn't dry up on me. Okay, so I have background, and then so I have 4 different layers so far. I have a strip of vintage stamps, and I'm just going to ink that up. And let's see, I think I'm going to just put that right there. Again, that glue dries really fast. Okay. I think I'm gonna just kind of put one of these eggs kind of underneath him just a little bit. So he's kind of poking out like that. Now I did, and I'm only gonna use one of those eggs. So I did pull out some of my stamps, and I'm gonna go ahead and just stamp a few little images here. I just kind of want it in the background just a little bit. And maybe okay. All right, I should have used a brown ink. I'm not loving that black very much, but that is okay. We're gonna keep on layering here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that lace about right just like that. And I am going to use a Fabri-Tac for that. And I'm just gonna put a little bit just like that. That Fabri-Tac is very sticky and it does dry very fast. So I'm just gonna lay it just like that, pat it down. And then I have some buttons here while I have that open. I think I will put a couple of little buttons here. I'm just going to put a dot of the Fabri-Tac, and again, it dries very fast and it's very strong. I'm going to put 2 down there, and then I'm going to put 1 up top. When I do buttons, I do like to add like 3, kind of an odd number. Okay. And then I need to decide, do I want that little bit of bling? And I'm thinking I'm going to put that bling up top. I think. Let's see. Do I like it down there better? No, I think I like it right up here to distract from that flower that I don't like that I put. Now, if I leave it just like that, that should dry. Maybe I'll add just a little bit more glue right there. Okay. All right, so I think that that will make a great collage picture to, or collage page to put into one of my journals. And I think I'm gonna leave that one just like it is. Now I'm gonna go ahead and work on this other one. I didn't really like the black ink very well, so I'm gonna put that right away. And let's see where this is gonna lead us. So again, I have my page, my music page here. I'm gonna go ahead and glue my craft paper down. And this paper just kind of comes all crumpled up in your packages, like if you order from Amazon or whatever, it'll just come crumpled up, and then I will flatten it out. You can iron it if you're very careful and don't leave it on just very, very, very quickly. Or I just put it on the floor and just kind of flattened it down with my hand over and over, and that works very well. So again, I'm going to use this background. This was just some of the greenery that was in that wildlife book. And I'm going to just kind of stick it like this. Now, collaging, there's really no right or wrong because you're just layering on top of everything. You just keep on layering until you like what you got. I'm going to, I think I'll put this egg next. And it's really, the fun part is, one of the fun parts that I like is collecting all of the images and all of the different junky things that you want to add to it. And you can literally just, you know, layer on top of each other. And if you don't like it, you just layer over top of it. I wasn't crazy about this black. I probably shouldn't have used black. I thought it would look okay because the music is black, but I'm not loving it. So I may just, you know, I may do a little bit more collaging on that because I don't have to be done. I can keep on adding more to it. You can just keep on layering. So I really like that bird. I like the inked edges. Now I did not ink the outside of this, and I probably should have because there's a little bit of white poking out at me. But that's okay because you can just go, and I'm going to do a little bit of ink here and just to kind of mess it up a little bit. And this is a fun activity to do if you have some music on or a movie on. You don't have to think about it. You just go and see what you come up with. And if you don't like what you have, you can just cover it up, keep on going, and see what you come up with. Because you know, you can come up with all kinds of fun things. Now I don't think I'm going to do 3. I don't really like that. I am going to go ahead and put 2 on here. I got a bunch of vintage stamps from an antique mall that I always visit when we go visit our daughter. And so I try to use these stamps when I can because I have so many of them. All right, so what else do I want there? I'm thinking we're gonna use this. I think we'll use this. Maybe right there. But I'm thinking we need some more of something. So I'm gonna go back on my stash here and pull out some different images here. What else do I have? Now I have some more of the same of the background. I'm thinking I'm just going to add a little bit more just to give it a little bit more pop. Yeah, because I need a little bit more color. So I'm just going to ink the edges up. And I mean, you can literally just kind of add all day long until you get it just the way you want it. And you can also, if you get it where you want it, you leave it, come back tomorrow or come back in an hour and look at it with fresh eyes and go, is that really what I wanted, or should I add some more? What else does it need to, you know, get it to exactly where you want it? Okay, I do like that, but I do need something right there, so now I tore these from the book pages, but you can, you know, tear it down and just use a little tiny piece if that's all you need in a spot. You know, if you just want a little pop of that color, you know, just tear it down till you get it the size that you think you want it. and I think I'm just gonna put it right there, just to give it a little bit more of something. And again, I mean, you can just do this literally all day long, just adding and, you know, covering it up if there's something that you don't really love. And I do want a little bit of bling. I think I'm going to put the bling up there. I am going to use Fabri-Tac. Now this bling right here, this was on a big piece that I found at the thrift shop, and I wasn't for sure what I could use it for, but it works very great just to snip little tiny pieces and, you know, just to give your page a little pop. So I think I'm going to put this right there, and so that kind of brings that out a little bit. And I'm just going to put some Fabri-Tac like that and tap this down, and just a couple of minutes that will be glued right down. And some of it I'll leave lifted up off the page a little bit just to give it that little bit of texture. And let's see, I did grab some butterflies. Let me see if I can, oh yes. So I used my punches, and I had a bunch of scrap paper that from different projects. So I took it into the house, and when I was sitting watching TV one night, I just punched out a bunch of butterflies so that I would have them when I was, you know, when I was in need of something a little bit extra. I don't like that there though. I'm thinking that might be a little bit too big. That is going to be a little bit too big, but I do think I've got a little stamp, a butterfly stamp. Let's see. All right, that's good. Let's see, is there anything else here? Maybe I want, this little stamp here has just some words, and I think I'm going to maybe just stamp off it just a little bit like that. Maybe stamp this one, just giving it a little bit of extra something. Because once you get your pieces glued down, you can just kind of look and see, is it needing something somewhere? And I'm just kind of stamping off a little bit like that. Maybe do one more up here. All right, so in just a very few minutes, we were able to, let me get some of this mess out of here. That is one thing, collage is very messy. So in just a very few minutes, we were able to stamp and collage a couple of nice wildlife journaling pages that can go into a signature. And it will dry and everything will stick nicely because that Fabri-Tac is so strong. And so there you have it. There is just an idea for you. You know, get out your wildlife books, your magazines, children's books, any images that you like, and just start tearing them out, cutting them out. Get into your stash, lace and buttons, and you know, whatever you have on hand, and just start gluing it. And I guarantee it's going to come out really nice and look wonderful in a journal. So there you have it. Thanks for coming along with me, and I hope you've gotten a couple of ideas to use in your own journal making. All right, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.